YouTube, how's it going? Frogs Angels is back with some more NFL record predictions for the upcoming 2018 season. We're going team by team. Then we'll predict the playoffs, then the Super Bowl. We're on to the Saints from the NFC South. We did the Falcons and the Panthers. We'll do the Saints here, then the Buccaneers next, then AFC, NFC West, and then playoffs. So we got you covered here. Then during the year, we got weekly NFL pick'ems. We are using this website, playoffpredictors.com, for these videos. Link is in the description. Go click on it. Make your own predictions. Very cool website. Very cool. But on to the Saints. Let's break down the Saints. Quarterback. They got some guy named Drew Brees, elite quarterback. We don't really expect any less from him than elite play. So really, altogether, the offense, we don't really expect anything less than what we got the last year. We expect good things from that offense, basically. Even though Mark Ingram is suspended, I'm not worried. They got some guy named Alvin Kamara, rookie of the year. You know, there's some people predicting him to maybe not be as good as he was rookie year. I'm not predicting that. You know, more action, very good his rookie season. You know, people doubted him during the draft process as well, except for us. We had him 16 on our board. So we believe in Alvin Kamara, basically. And then receiver unit, you know, it's good, actually, but you would like them for Drew Brees to maybe have – I wish Brandon Cooks was there. That's what I'm getting to. I wish Brandon Cooks was still there for the Saints' sake. Good receiver unit, though. Michael Thomas is ridiculous. He's getting better. Does Ted Ginn still have more in the tank? I'm sure he does, but, you know, nothing anywhere near Michael Thomas. Cameron Meredith actually could be a sleeper if healthy, but we really don't know what we're going to get from him. Good route runner. You would like for them to get another guy to pair as a great duo with Michael Thomas, but I'm kind of just splitting hairs here. I'm trying to nitpick, I guess, here, but obviously great offense. Offensive line, fantastic last year. I honestly, I didn't want to say I doubted them a little bit last year. I didn't think they were going to be bad offensive line. But I didn't think they would be anywhere near as how good they were last year. Very impressive. So I expect them to be at the top of the NFL again. So offense isn't a concern. Defense, maybe a little bit. They give up some points here. Cameron Jordan, obviously an elite pass rusher. But other than him on the defensive line, like, what are we going to get? I think they could get better at defensive tackle. Sheldon Rankins, I was high on him during the pre-draft process 2 years ago. Still expects good things from him, but we haven't really seen it yet. Are we going to get it? Okafor on the opposite side, you know, nothing special there. They draft Davenport. He was kind of viewed as, he's a very good prospect, but viewed as a developmental guy. I mean, he can make an impact early, but they knew they needed pass rush help opposite of Cameron Jordan. So will we get enough this year? Not a big fan of their linebacker unit, honestly, as well. You know, I think they can get better at the linebacker spot. Secondary, you know, got better because Marshawn Lattimore. And can he play even better this next year? It's possible, and that could be scary. So, obviously, a top 10 corner from him. They lose Kenny Vaccaro. They get Kirk Coleman in there. You know, I'm not super high on that pickup either. So, the secondary, you know, they got Lattimore. Crawley's okay. But it's an area they can get better on. So I don't really know what to expect from their defense. I think they could give up some points, kind of like they did last year. But their offense is elite, and that's going to win them some games. So let's break down the schedule. Week 1, home against Tampa. You got to go with the Saints there. Better team at home, week 1. They'll be more prepared. Fitzpatrick starting over there. Not to knock him, but, you know, the Saints got to win that game. Home against the Browns in week 2. You know, the Browns, talked about it before, on paper, pretty solid, but will they play that solid? You know, people kind of doubting that. I'll take the Saints in that one. At home again, better team. Week 3 is in Atlanta. The Saints played very well against Atlanta last year, but I think the Falcons get going. I think their offense can score a lot of points, especially in this game. I think their defense actually steps up too. Saints, I mean, not enough to completely shut out the Saints or anything, but I like the Falcons at home in that one. Week 4, in New York for the Giants game. That's a good one. You know, I think the Giants could put up some points on the Saints, but I think the Saints are just, you know, the better team always doesn't win, but, you know, I start predicting too many upsets here, then it gets out of hand. You know, you start getting more wrong. So I'm going with the better team here, Saints. The Giants could win that game, though. Home against Washington. Oh, Monday night game. You're going to go in there and beat Drew Brees on Monday night in New Orleans? I don't think so. I'll take the Saints. Week 6, bye week. Week 7, in Baltimore. You can't really rule out Baltimore in this one, but yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints. Week 8, the good old Saints-Vikings battle. The factor is being in U.S. Bank again. The Saints had them at U.S. Bank in the playoffs. But I got to go with the Vikings at home. I think the Vikings are a more complete team. The Vikings, even though they got better at quarterback, they don't have Drew Brees still, but I do think the Vikings are a more complete, more balanced team. In New Orleans, maybe I'd be picking the Saints, but predicting the Vikings in that one. Home against the Rams. Could see a good old-fashioned shootout. I still trust the Saints offense more than the Rams, but the Rams defense is definitely more trustworthy than the Saints defense, but I will take the Saints at home in that one. Week 10 in Cincinnati. Cincinnati could be a sleeper team here. In Cincinnati too. Joe Mixon, I expect big things from him this year. I like the receiver unit actually, pretty solid. Expect John Ross to step up as well. But I'll take the Saints in this one. They're a much better team. Week 11, home against the Eagles. A very tough one. Very, very tough one. In the Eagles video, I actually predicted the Saints winning this one. I'll stick with it. I think the Saints will score on them. I think they will. Not just score. I think they'll score enough points to win, obviously. I'm picking them, but I think their offense can move the ball on that defense. Very good defense, but maybe not the best in football, but pretty close. So, I think the Saints will put up points on them. Home against the Falcons, Thursday night football. You got to pick the Saints in this one. I think the Falcons will be very good, but in New Orleans, Thursday night, and I had the Falcons winning Week 3 game. The Falcons aren't going to 2-0 them, and I don't think the Saints will 2-0 the Falcons. Week 13 in Dallas, Thursday night. Are they really have back-to-back Thursday night? Is that right? I didn't know that. Interesting, very interesting. But in Dallas, I picked the Cowboys in the Cowboys video. I'm going to stick with it. I think their offense gets rolling in this one at home. Zeke has a day. I think Dak steps up from last year. You sure hope he does. But I think he does. I'll take the Cowboys. Away against the Buccaneers. What was it? The Buccaneers game at the end of the season last year kind of had me questioning them a little bit going into the playoffs. I guess it didn't mean much, but they looked very sloppy in that game. So I think it's going to Tampa. I think it's a losable game. We'll take Tampa on the upset in this one. It really depends on if Winston's playing or not. You expect him to right now, but there's more come up. In Carolina Monday night in the Panthers video, I did pick the Panthers. I'll stick with it. It's going to be tough to go to Carolina, play Cam Newton on Monday night, so I'll take them there. The only thing I'm realizing now is I just had them drop 3 straight. Well, the Saints really dropped 3 straight. But I'll stick with it. Don't want to change my original predictions here. Week 16, home against the Saints. A whole lot of offense in that one. Or Steelers in New Orleans is what I meant. Whole lot of offense. I think similar defenses. The Steelers' defensive line's better. Other than that, pretty similar offenses too. I'm gonna go with the home team. That's the way I got to split it up. And I just had them losing 3 straight. They're not gonna lose 4 straight. Then week 17, home against the Panthers. I will take the Saints in that one. Because I had the Panthers winning that one. They're not gonna get 2-0 by the Panthers. I can see it. I can see them 2-0ing them, not getting 2-0'd. So 11-5 is the record. Looking back, what games can change? They played extremely well against the Falcons last year. They could beat them twice. I don't think they do, though. The Giants, they could lose that one. I just don't think they do, though. The Vikings-Saints games are always close, could go either way. But you can say the same thing about the Rams game. That could go either way. I did have them beating the Eagles here. So that could be a loss. But then I had them losing 3 straight. That's a tough three in a row right there. Really more than that. Look at the Eagles, the Falcons. So that could be a tough run there. All these games can go either way. I don't expect them to win it all. But now looking back, I did have them losing all. That's kind of hard to believe too, even though I just predicted it. And then the Steelers game, I did give them the win there. So I think 11-5 is realistic. They can win 12 games. I think the 10 to 12 range. 10 to 12 range is I'm pretty firm on that. Pretty confident on that. We'll see. It's really, the offense doesn't scare me at all. The offense, in terms of if you're a Saints fan, you're pretty confident about their offense is what I mean. And then defensively, though, it scares me a little bit. They need some more pieces. They need to develop a little more maybe. But pretty similar defense last year. They played well last year, got to where they got to, could even went further. So we expect good things from the Saints, basically. 11-5, I'm pretty good with that. But that'll do it for this one. Let me know what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to help us reach our goal. And don't forget to click that like button. That would be much, much appreciated to help us out. But that'll do it for this one. Stay tuned for more record predictions and NFL coverage. That'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.